All right, welcome to episode 11 of the Beardarchy Project. Starting out, this podcast is covered by the BitCop no government license, use and reuse by anyone except the governments or the bludgies thereof. We're also covered by Brandenburg v. Ohio, 1969, which the court held that the government cannot punish inflammatory speech unless the speech is directed to, inciting, or producing imminent lawless action and is likely to incite or produce such action, which means everything said here on the Beardarchy Project is hypothetical. What do we got today, boys? Big topic, the tariffs. We are completely silent besides me.
Oh,
all
yeah,
right.
the tariff.
I was like, all right, that's
Sorry,
fine.
we were getting sidetracked with the previous pre-podcast talk.
Yeah, that's the one, by the way.
That's pretty good.
So
I want to work that into the podcast.
You're gonna work the what into the podcast?
It actually kind of does fit. So, like we were talking about pre-podcast about the movie The Dictator. There's a quote from the movie that he was having me look up, and the main character says, "Why are you guys so anti-dictators? Imagine if America was a dictatorship. You could let 1% of the people have all the nation's wealth. You could help your rich friends get richer by cutting their taxes and bailing them out when they gamble and lose. You could ignore the needs of the poor for health care and education. Your media would appear free, but you would secretly be controlled by one person and his family. You could wiretap phones. You could torture foreign prisoners. You could have rigged elections. You could lie about why you go to war. You could fill your prisons with one particular racial group and no one would complain. You could use the media to scare the people into supporting policies that are against their interests."
Yeah, I love that.
Wild.
That's statement is literally what we're dealing with.
It's wild.
And that's in a comedy movie, my friends.
Is that the one with Seth Rogen?
No, it's
No,
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yep.
Oh.
It's the guy who did Borat.
Oh, okay. Dude, the Borat movie is actually pretty funny. So.
Yeah, so that right there was it's literally explaining the American government, and it's aligning real close with the dictatorship. Because we do all that.
All right.
We are. I mean, and I can say at least other countries are upfront about the things that they're doing, at least to some degree. We tried to do it clandestinely, but we're in the same position.
Yeah.
Well, April 2nd,
All
though.
right, tariffs.
April 2nd, though. Liberation Day tariff announcement. What do you guys think of these tariffs?
Absolute fucking hogwash, and they're going to end up. Well, fuck, they're even going to hurt his rich friends because tariffs. They're fucking destroying us. Companies are closing down because they can't afford to import the goods they need because we do not have access to them here in the States.
The conservative estimate is that in the first year of these tariffs, the average American family is going to spend approximately $4,000 more.
Yeah. And then, I mean, like, I sent you guys that video of, I mean, even his supporters are starting to be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like Ben Shapiro, dude's an absolute fucking twat. And he's like, what are you doing, man?
Can you scroll back up real quick, Mason? About to play the Jeopardy music. Do do do.
Yeah, even Ted Cruz says that the Republicans will face bloodbath if Trump tariffs trigger U.S. recession.
Which is another one of the Trump supporters, so.
All right. We can go through the Ted Cruz bloodbath comment real quick. And then we'll jump back to the other one. All right, so Republican Senator Ted Cruz warned of a potential bloodbath for his party in the 2026 midterm elections if Donald Trump's tariff sends the U.S. economy into a recession. So I want to cover something real quick. Watching the stock market just fucking plummet. That shit is wild. Like,
drop. Yeah, it's what we're getting close to, like depression kind of shit.
We're on the right track.
Yeah, we'll be there. I mean, It's astonishing how this businessman is running an entire goddamn country into the ground.
Yeah, everyone knows this. You learn about this as an economist. Everyone knows that a trade war is never a good thing. It's not going to have a good outcome for you.
Especially when we're pushing all of our closer allies to work with our enemies.
Yeah, I can't see how that could go south in any way.
Yeah, I mean, Canada's been our closest friend for how fucking long? Like, we've gone to war with those motherfuckers, and yeah, we're just destroying all economical and even military alliances because ain't nobody gonna want to work with you if you're treating them like fucking dog shit.
Yeah, their PM said basically, "Hey, fuck you. We're gonna build our own stuff. We're gonna source our own things, and
They're
we don't
pulling
need you
American
anymore."
off the shelves. I mean, here we're
Yeah.
suffering. Up there, they're like, just don't sell American.
The senator from Texas also predicted a terrible fate for the world's largest economy should a full-blown trade war erupt, and Trump's tariffs, as well as any
Retaliatory.
retaliatory measures on U.S. goods stay in place long term. Typically, a Trump ally Cruz comments on his Verdict podcast. Jesus, I'm fucking struggling today. Verdict podcast on Friday, where the starkest warning from a member of the president's party since his Liberation Day levies kicked off the global market route. Republican lawmakers have begun to worry about the effects of Trump's tariffs on the economy and their party's prospect for keeping control of both chambers of Congress. In the 2026 midterm elections, their concerns grow as America watched about 5.4 TN. Is that trillion?
Trillion.
Yeah, 5.4 trillion TN. I didn't know that was an abbreviation for trillion. 5.4 trillion of stock market capitalizations evaporate over a 2-day Wall Street route. Whatever. So that's crazy. 5.4 trillion. That's a large fucking number. And I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be funny though. I think that in 2026 when the midterm elections do hit, I mean, I guarantee I'm almost 110% like they're going to lose complete power of both, and like from that point forward, what do you guys think we're looking at? I don't know. I'm thinking maybe. All right, I'm thinking maybe an impeachment, another one of those attempts, right? Like in the first two in the his first run, right?
Which is, yeah, they won't. We could probably get him to the first step, but I don't see him getting full on impeached. Like Richard Nixon, the only reason that motherfucker got impeached is because he pretty much let it happen. He was just like, yeah, fuck this.
So I'm seeing, or that's my prediction, right? We're gonna see the first steps come into play for that. We're also gonna see, let's see what's the next thing. Basically like no bills. I guarantee no bills are gonna get passed unless it's like actually good for the Congress people, not for the people, the Congress people. That's what I'm saying. They'll vote
Maybe
to give
I've
themselves
also
another
read
raise
that
or
there's
some
been
shit.
quite a bit of Republican and Democrat support jointly because of the tariffs. There's been more cooperation.
Really?
Yeah, because nobody fucking wants them, other than nut jobs like J.D. Vance and the Orange Messiah.
Well, and it is good for some people. Now, I have a limited understanding of how that end of trading works, but there is ways to make a lot of money, a ton of money, especially if you're probably one of Trump's confidants, on the stock market losing money.
Yeah.
So someone's probably making something off of this, right?
Oh yeah, insider trading for sure. I mean, probably pulling or selling all their shit before it drops.
Right.
I mean,
But
yeah.
overall, I think the damage to our reputation internationally will go on for generations, or at least a generation.
Out of fucking doubt.
Yeah, I can see that. On Thursday, Republican Chuck Grassley introduced a bill in the Senate alongside a Democrat to reassert congressional control of tariff policy. Under the proposed law, new levies would expire in 60 days unless approved by Congress, and there would be a mechanism for lawmakers to cancel tariffs at any point.
I mean, pretty much what Trump did by just going ahead and doing this blanket tariff is unconstitutional. It's not. He didn't follow the correct channels of getting this done.
Right. Well, that seems to be a reoccurring trend here with Trump's presidency, right? I mean, countless times.
Mitch McConnell co-sponsored this. Wow.
Yeah, he's like I said, half of his like big supporters are being like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
he's He's lost the moderate vote. I mean, if we want to call it that, but
I mean, his cult will still back behind him, which is a very large cult, but
right. But yeah, all the people in the middle, or whatever you want to call it, just for simplicity's sake, yeah, they're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, his cult of personality will probably survive, but everyone else is not going to go for this bullshit again.
And then people that don't have basic economic understanding and understand what's going on. I mean, even people who don't fuck with the stock market have to acknowledge that the stock market crashing is bad.
Yeah.
But most of them are probably looking at it like, well, this doesn't affect me personally, so who cares?
Everybody says that until they go to the grocery store and they're like, "Oh fuck, why is everything so fucking expensive?" And then you got to ask yourself, "Well, shit, is this because of the tariffs?" Yes, the answer is yes.
Hey, we should at least, if we're going to do another recession or possibly depression, at least bring back subprime loans so we can snatch up a bunch of really nice houses for cheap like people did back in 08. That'd be sweet.
So we can fuck the next generation.
Right? Yeah, it's just
we can all become
it's trickle down economics, man. Don't you get it? You fuck everyone else.
Yeah. Let's see. So support for the bill grew on Friday as Republican Senators Lisa Murkowski and Mitch McConnell, Jerry Moran, and Thomas Tillis signed on as a co-sponsor. The bill the bill is likely more symbolic than anything, but points to increased discord within the Republican Party as lawmakers worry about the effect of the trade policy on constituencies. Is that the right word there?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, constituencies. Yeah.
Reliant on exports and on re-election hopes. Yeah, I don't see the midterms are not going to go well unless Congress really start fucking butting heads with Trump. But I mean, you've seen that.
It's pretty damning that Mitch McConnell agrees.
Yeah. But I mean, you see that though from the beginning of this though. If people start going against Trump, then you have so many people going against that one person where everything starts to fucking change. So,
Mm-hmm.
But
all I'm seeing is his own party pulling away from him, and that could be good for us. So,
yes, potentially could be good for us. Yeah. There were already signs of voter discontent this week when an Elon Musk-backed conservative lost a state Supreme Court seat in Wisconsin. By the way, I don't know if anybody knows about that, but he dumped so much money into this dude and then lost. So Wisconsin's got some shit going on.
He probably had a factory he was trying to get built in Wisconsin or something.
Probably. Republicans also unperformed their 2024 results in 2 special House elections in Florida. If Trump's tariffs and any retaliatory measures remain in place long term and push the U.S. into a recession, particularly a bad recession in 2026, in all likelihood politically would be a bloodbath. You would face a Democratic House and you might even face a Democratic Senate, Cruz said. Despite the 53-47 Republican majority in the Senate, if we're in the middle of a recession and people are hurting badly, they punish the party in power, Cruz said. Well, no shit. That's because the people that are in power there are at fault. So, the Canada-born Texan did not share the president's assessment that the tariffs would usher in a booming economy. Instead, Cruz said there would be an enormous economic boom only if the U.S. and any retaliating countries slash their duty rates. But if every other country on Earth hits the U.S. with retaliatory tariff and Trump's so-called reciprocal levies remain in place, that it is a terrible outcome, the senator warned. If the confrontation between the U.S. and its trading partners escalate into a full-blown trade war, it would destroy jobs here at home and do real damage to the U.S. economy, Cruz said. It would also have a powerful upward impact on inflation. So, yeah, pretty crazy. I think it's I don't know, it's nothing good coming from this, that's for sure.
And, the main thing I'm thinking of hoping good can come from it is, like I said, his own party turns on him, and hopefully his voters, the ones that have some brain cells. So, hopefully we get something good out of him fucking up. We're not going to get anything good for us currently, but hopefully he will piss enough people off that this never happens again.
That would be cool. But people learning from great impacting history? I don't know, man. Do you wanna click that first article, Jason? All right. Can you scroll up? So we're just gonna go over what we covered here, and it's the historical global trade war. President Donald Trump declared a U.S. economic emergency, announced tariffs of at least 10% across all countries, with rates even higher for 60 countries or trading blocks that have a high trade deficit with the U.S. Auto tariffs are now into effect. China hit hardest. China, the second top exporter to the U.S. behind Mexico, will now face a 54% tariff and has vowed to hit back Canada. Canada and the EU, also top trading partners, are preparing countermeasures. And then global markets rattled after hours. U.S. stock markets fell sharply, as did Asian and European markets after the tariff announcement, and gold hit a new record high as investors seek safer investments. Leading economics told CNN they feared the tariffs could lead to a global recession. So,
which means all the rich fucks are going to have bars and bars of gold in their basement.
Bars upon bars.
Bars. So, when we all start killing each other and the American dollar has no real value, they can use their gold.
Well, it doesn't really either anyway. I mean, we have a fiat currency as well.
Covered by Brandenburg, the Ohio, as well.
That wasn't an incitement. That was just saying.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's factually correct. We have a fiat currency.
I just covering all bases, right? Yeah. So Americans will pay $6 trillion for Trump's tariffs, the largest tax hike in the U.S. history. So it's wild.
And this is the party saying they were going to cut our taxes.
They did say they were going to cut our taxes. White House aide Peter Navarro.
Where's that overtime they were talking about? Where's that income tax they were talking about getting rid of? I don't see none of that happening.
Well, you see, Doge was cutting all those costs so that way they could jack them back up by inciting a trade war.
Yeah.
Well, it's a net zero or worse.
Shit, I bet Elon Musk will move back to South Africa here soon.
That's because all the Teslas are burning.
To go live at his parents' emerald mine.
Is that what they own? I didn't know that.
Yes, his parents are loaded as fuck in South Africa.
That shit's wild.
But he's a visionary. He's a revolutionary.
A revolutionary, huh?
All the same story for all those rich fucks. Said they were self-made, but most of them were handed money by mommy or daddy.
Yeah.
There was one of them. I can't remember which one it was. If it was either Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, but one of them, their mother worked for someone important, and she recommended that their son was a brilliant man, and then that boss helped them. So one of them didn't come from money. I don't know which rich fuck, but they got help from money.
Eat the rich.
Yeah, the both of them did.
Brandenburg.
Yeah, Brandenburg. White House aide Peter Navarro said he expects President Donald Trump's tariffs to bring in $6 trillion in revenue in the next decade, which could all amount to the largest tax hike in U.S. history. Even when adjusting for inflation, that amount would be triple the tax increase put in place in 1942 to pay the cost of fighting World War II. Not 3, 2. Sorry, we're not at 3 yet. We're not at that point in history.
We're getting there. We'll be there soon. We're getting there.
Navarro, Trump's senior counsel for trade manufacturing, insists it's not a tax increase but a tax cut. I don't know how he gets that, but echoing the Trump administration repeated beliefs that tariff will be paid not by American consumers but by businesses in other countries or the countries themselves. The message is that tariffs are tax cuts, tariffs are jobs, tariffs are national security, Navarro said on Fox News Sunday. Tariffs are great for America. They will make America great again.
Nice to meet you. I'm Sigourney Weaver.
I'm getting tired of hearing that fucking phrase.
It baffles me because Victor, would you like to break down tariffs and why they don't?
Well,
do you want to have a repeat of episode 7?
I mean, well, we're a post raw commodities production country. It's we were talking pre-podcast about how everything says final assembly or assembled in the USA. All of the raw materials are sourced from everywhere but here. Why are all of our domestic auto manufacturers building their cars or sourcing their parts from other countries? Why is Toyota the most American car manufacturer in the entire United States? It's crazy.
Yeah, I just don't think people realize that the fact that the infrastructure we don't have to be doing the things we're doing. It would be a different story to be doing what we're doing if we had the infrastructure to source the things we need right now. But all we are doing is hurting everyone. I mean, even bigger companies are going to suffer from this because they have to import goods. So they're going to be paying that increased price, which means to survive, and they are a corporatist society, so they will have to increase prices because that's how they all make money.
Yep. Who pays the burden? Us. All of us. We pay the burden. The taxpayer does. You ever go into a store and you look at the products offered on the shelf and how many of them are domestically produced? Not very many, right? So what are we challenging the rest of the world with? What products are we going to necessarily withhold from them when we import the majority of the stuff the average consumer purchases? Now maybe we're exporting other things. As far as I know, right now we're the number one producer in oil. But besides that, what are we offering the world manufacturing wise that they're eating up? Weapons and oil? Is that going to put money back in my pocket?
Yeah, and I mean, I think we're slowing down in oil because the Middle East and Mexico are also a large supplier for oil in the world.
Yeah, and if OPEC has their way, yeah, they'll bury us in that too.
Yeah. Awesome.
The only thing we're the best at is bombing people and messaging reporters about it.
Oh, and imprisonment. We're also number 1 in the world for imprisonment.
Oh yeah, we are good at that. The prison industrial complex is a really good system.
Yeah. We make tons of money.
Talk about that sometime.
Fuck it, let's do it. Let's talk about it now. What you got on it?
Well, I guess I want to start with 1 in 10 people convicted and sentenced to prison are innocent, and that's an acceptable rate. That is insane. 10% of the people.
Or convicted of a non-violent crime that could have been a slap on the wrist and sent home.
Why are so many prisons privately held? And also, why do they generate so much revenue? There is zero incentive to rehabilitate people and bring them back into society.
Oh, yeah. They work them, make money off of their work. They take money from taxpayer dollars to feed them and then give them like a baked bean.
Yeah, or the NutriBlock.
If you go look at all of the other countries in the world's prisons, so not all of them, I shouldn't say all of them, some of them are probably worse than ours, but
yeah, Japan.
A lot of them, the prison system is meant for rehabilitation, which is what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be rehabilitating a criminal into a productive member of society, not using them to make money, shoving them in a room. 90% of them still commit crimes while they're in prison because they have to not die.
Yeah, that's why we have such a high recidivism rate. We release these people back into society with basically nothing. We say we offer them opportunities. They go out, they commit more crime because they don't have any other means to, well,
Secure
make income,
they need.
and they go back.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you've got people that go simply because they have nothing.
Yeah. It becomes the new normal for them. That's what they understand.
Yeah. You're not supposed to be making them go, all right, prison is for me. We're supposed to be making them go, all right, I want to be a better person.
Yeah, I'm not saying it should be summer camp, but it should be rehabilitative, and people
And it
should come
also,
out
you
better.
shouldn't be making money off of them.
No, this is a public service.
Yeah. Private prisons in general are a fucking just absolute abysmal idea. Private corporations just people should not be able to purchase a facility and hold human beings in cells and make profit off of it, which they all get they get tax money, government subsidies.
Yeah, cubicles in office buildings are pretty terrible things.
Yeah.
Same thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much, but
close.
But yeah, the prison system is fucked here. I mean, we don't rehabilitate anyone. We just make prisoners. We make people who have nothing other than the prospect of going back to prison.
Oh yeah, I like the little weird derailments into other problems. Anyway,
Yeah.
We good to go to the next article?
No, let's bring back the Thunderdome.
The
Thunderdome.
I mean, let's start the Thunderdome. That'll be better. Anything's better than our current arrangement.
All right, let's see. So, by the way, everybody, today's episode is going to be 95% tariffs and 5% small other things. We do have a big topic at the end, though, that I want to talk about.
Thunderdome.
It's not the Thunderdome. It's not the Thunderdome.
It's not. It's Thunderdome.
All right, so we've made a mistake. Republicans panic as Trump's tariffs crash stock market and trigger recession fears. Again, tariffs. All right, you want to scroll down?
Is it Australia? Australia's pretty close. They sent a bunch of convicts, and they made a pretty good place. It's pretty cool.
Everything
Big spiders,
everything,
but
Australia.
everything wants to kill you there.
My
that's
favorite thing
natural.
about Australia is the fact that it was founded as a prison colony, and now it is one of the most strict countries in the world law-wise.
Fact.
Yes.
I just want to bring up. I don't know if we have an article on it or not. I don't think we do. I want to bring up the fact that we are tariffing penguins.
Yeah, the uninhabited island that has nothing but penguins there. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to bring that up.
Like
So,
Elon Musk said, sometimes they make mistakes, and they'll rectify them quickly, but sometimes mistakes happen.
I'm just giddy that those penguins are just down there trying to live their life, dude. Just and then
Now they got to get
wham,
the wallet out.
10% tariffs, dude, right on top of them. Fuck those penguins,
Every,
man.
every time they eat a fish in international waters, they're gonna have to fucking cough that dough up.
Penguins just want to surf, man.
Yeah, dude. Surf's up, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Sorry, I was sneezing. Republican senators are in full-blown panic mode after President Trump's latest round of tariffs sent to the stock market into a sharp decline, sparking fears of impending recession. While Republicans knew Trump was set to announce new tariffs, the scale of decision shocked many and has left senators scrambling to deal with the fallout. Trump's reciprocal tariffs aimed at countries like the European Union, Japan, and South Korea has triggered a wave of panic, especially among GOP lawmakers from farming states who fear retaliatory tariffs on U.S. agriculture.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing right there. I don't know. I don't have an exact number, but I know that it's pretty high. Yearly yields from most farms in the U.S., I think 20%, something like 20% is exported abroad instead of being used domestically, just because if they didn't do that, they wouldn't survive.
So here's the thing with agriculture, right? Like, what I can't recall what we're getting agriculturally from them. Do you know by chance? You want me to Google that?
Agriculture. I think the thing we have the largest production in is soy and corn.
Yeah, definitely corn. How else could we be adding ethanol to our gasoline?
So the United States is the world's largest producer of corn. Yeah, you got that right. Also, the world's top producer of cow's milk. I used
Yeah,
to
we have
run
an
the
interesting relationship with that. It's not very common to drink cow's milk elsewhere.
We're one of the few people that do it.
and we're the fourth largest producer of wheat after China, India, and Russia.
Soybeans. I'm pretty sure we were a large producer of soybeans because we rotate our fields of corn and soy.
Either way, I don't know.
That corn is the only thing we have to offer the world. If someone wants fucking corn, we got you.
Corn syrup?
That or
Corn
nukes.
syrup.
We got a lot of those too.
Corn syrup and nukes.
You want a boat? You want a boat? We got boats too.
Can it run on corn syrup?
All right, let's jump to JD Vance. Sorry, this pisses me off.
Hearing that name makes me want to fucking fight.
Dude, you love JD Vance. Stop.
Every time I see his face, it's just like a punching bag.
Dude,
God
that's like
damn.
saying you want to punch a small emo child. You can't say that.
I've done that.
Very
I
direct.
have done that when I was a small emo child.
That feels very directed, Doug.
Does it?
Huh, I can't open this article.
You can't open the article anymore?
I have to subscribe to it.
Ugh.
Oh my.
Paywalls on news is bullshit. Okay? Well, while we're gonna... Fuck. I don't know, you want to find something different on that?
Well, just say what was it? What was it?
Talk about
So basically, he says we just got to suck it up, which is super sad. Yeah,
Yeah, of course we gotta suck it up, because him and his fucking cronies don't gotta suffer.
Hold on, I have it right here. I know I can't show it on the screen, but basically, JD Vance is telling Americans living paycheck to paycheck that the pain from President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs will all be worth it at some point. Trump's rollout of the highest U.S. tariffs in a century has already inflicted damage on the U.S. economy, sending stocks plummeting and piling pressure on the dollar Thursday, and fueling fears of a looming global recession. Amid the chaos, his vice president used a Fox News appearance to deliver a message to anxious voters. In short, suck it up. In a Fox and Friends interview Thursday morning, co-host Lawrence Jones claims there are a lot of MAGA folks cheering Trump on, especially when he takes it to other countries. Huh.
The only country he's taking it to is us. He's got his full fucking arm up our ass, and no one's bitching about it.
So this is my whole fucking take on this, right? This proves my point, right? These elites, they don't care about you. They will never care about you. Like, that's why Trump won, right? This is his whole fucking point, right? Is that he's going to make things cheaper and he's going to cut taxes and he's for the working class. He's for the people, right? And this right here proves it, right? Like, fuck, his vice president isn't even for the working class or the people. When they're going to sit here and they're going to tell you, hey, it's going to suck, but suck it up. That is... He just basically...
It'll get better in a few years when you've all starved, goddammit.
Right. Once you and your family have hit rock bottom and you start to slowly build and learn how to live, and then that's when it's gonna get better, because you now know how to live with this fucking shit that's going on. That is bullshit. That is ridiculous. And like,
yeah,
it's baffling to me that this fucking dude that wears eyeliner. He doesn't wear eyeliner, I know that, but looks like he wears eyeliner. Like baby, just like makes basically just a baby is what all he is. He's gonna stand up in front of the world and be like, yeah, guess what? It's gonna suck.
All I see when
But-
I look at JD Vance is that fat kid in Shrek saying "Do the roar."
That's so accurate. But yeah. And if you say something,
So
to him,
he
he's
went on
gonna-
to say he asked Vance what he could tell Americans who just can't afford an extra $3 here and there, and how the government will help these people. And he asks, "Will costs go up at some point?" Jones asked, "Will this just be temporary? Are we talking 3 months or 6 months?" Vance, who is now worth an estimated $10 million, thanks in part to his memoir about his Rust Belt upbringing, answered by indicating that he could relate to those who are fearful. "I grew up in a family that often did live did live paycheck to paycheck, and we know a lot of Americans are worried," Vance said. "So we are fighting very hard to bring prices down. We're going to have the biggest deregulation in the history of this country. What I'd ask folks to appreciate here is that we are not going to fix things overnight," Vance added. "Joe Biden left us. This is not an exaggeration, Lawrence, with the largest peacetime debt and deficit in the history of the United States of America, with sky-high interest rates. You don't fix that stuff overnight." Vance did not explain how he thinks igniting a global trade war would fix these issues, saying only that the Trump administration believes that if we pursue the right deregulation, we pursue those energy cost reducing policies, yes, people are going to see it in their pocketbook.
that sounded like complete bullshit.
It is bullshit.
So, yes, this man right here.
I promise you, if you get fucked now, and you just wait and hold out for a little bit longer, yes, we will fuck you again.
That's a perfect explanation. Honestly, I don't think you could get away from that any better. So, yeah, this is what MAGA wants, right? They want bullshit, dude. I can't even handle this shit. It's wild. This poor man's upbringing, and he's gonna compare that to what's going on now. It's wild. I do love that the fact that there is a plate carrier advertisement.
Brandenburg v. Ohio.
Yeah, of course, Brandenburg v. Ohio. I'm definitely not inciting anything by just commenting on the fucking Molly Webbing fucking plate carrier there that comes in an assortment of colors and camos, but that's fine. Yeah, no, it's wild, and these tariffs are not going to be good, and they're going to fuck us extremely hard. But just remember, take care of your neighbors. Don't let everybody starve. You know what I mean? Share the wealth. Be a community. So what we got now? Oh yes, this is. I'm excited for this article. This isn't the article I want to talk about. This is Governor Newsom directs state to pursue strategic relationships with international trading partners, urges exemptions of California-made products from tariffs. So Newsom.
So in other words, he's pretty trying to run California like it's a sovereign state. It won't be, but he wants our trade partners to not tariff California, and he will not tariff them, pretty much. But yeah.
I never thought I'd say this, but I actually kind of agree with California. I would probably do the same exact thing. I would try to salvage my relationships.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I mean, while states are not, we are the USA. We're a whole state. Is your community. Ohio is a community. So if we want our people to not suffer, our governor should be looking to do shit like this.
I just wanted to bring up. So I'm a huge fan of movies, right? And the A24 Civil War movie, where Texas and California exceeds and like start their own little shit.
Two people you would never think would side together, and it's now looking like they might.
Right. Like this is what I'm talking about.
Only
This
they
shit's
could
wild.
stop their state from catching on fire.
Right. Yeah. If California ever stops
that would
catching
help.
on fire, we're in fucking trouble. No.
Well, once they get the fire under control, one of those big earthquakes will come along and it'll just implode into the earth.
That's fucked.
But yeah, no, definitely strategic relationship between California and Texas may be more likely than it was before.
yeah, it's wild to think about because you would never, you know, like I don't know I don't know if you guys are cool talking about this. When I first sat down and watched that movie and like did the research on the movie, because like
Brandenburg, v. Ohio.
of course Brandenburg v Ohio. This is a Civil War movie. It was in theaters. It was made by A24. I'm not sitting here planning anything, right? But I want to talk about it because it's cool. But like doing the research on this movie and shit and seeing that like they were like, oh yeah, California and Texas like sided together. Me, as like I am right now, I was like, absolutely not. Bullshit. That will never happen in anybody's fucking dreams, right? And then like as we watch society progress, and I'm like, holy fuck, is this a goddamn pre-sequel? Am I living the pre? No.
Well, the other people fighting were Florida and a few other southern states, so.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just think that shit's fucking awesome, and it's crazy to see like the potential reality of it. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
I mean, even if you look at what happened in that was that they added that president could have another term, and guess what's been proposed already?
Brandenburg v. Ohio, 1969. I just
We need to
we're gonna cover this a lot.
revamp that Lord of the Rings meme where it's like, never thought I'd die fighting side by side with a California, and what about side by side with a friend?
Dude.
I can do that.
California.
Hands down, Texas is the dwarf.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
hands
for
down, they're
California
the
is
dwarfs.
definitely an elf.
I fucking love it, dude. Yeah, so it's just I don't know. It's crazy to like think about that movie. I don't. If you haven't seen the Civil War movie, by all means go watch it. It's a
Or
fucking
does that
phenomenal
guy
movie.
that couldn't hold his bow back and shot way before everyone else?
Oh yeah.
But the Civil War movie is a phenomenal movie, and I'm not saying it. We're living a pre-sequel right now, but Brandenburg v. Ohio.
The sacred codex.
The
Brandenburg v. Ohio.
The Sacred Codex, yes.
The sacred codex.
All right. California leads the nation, California leads the nation as the first state for agricultural and manufacturing, and it's our workers, families, and farmers who stand to lose the most from the Trump tax hike and trade war. To our international partners, as the fifth largest economy in the world, the Golden State will remain a steady, reliable partner for generations to come, no matter the turbulence coming out of Washington. California is not Washington, D.C.
Number one in forest fires. But yeah.
Number one in forest fires.
Number one
Canada's
on.
got him beat too.
Oh yeah. Well, somewhere in the top 3, smoke inhalation, definitely.
Savage. So protecting California's economic dominance. So California is the fifth largest economy in the world, the strongest economy in the nation, and the largest importer among all U.S. states, with more than $675 billion in two-way trade supporting millions of jobs throughout the state. California's gross domestic product of $3.9 trillion is 50% bigger than the GDP of the nation's next largest state, Texas, and is the key to the United States economic growth. California sends more than $83 billion to the federal government annually.
Why can I only hear this in Trump's voice? California is the fifth biggest, largest economy. There's no bigger.
They have the
That's all I
largest
heard.
National Guard too.
California does?
Not relevant to what we're talking. Yes, California's got the largest National Guard. You know, it's funny. Guess who's got the second?
Texas?
Ohio.
Lol.
No.
Ohio doesn't exist.
Ohio's got the second largest National Guard.
So, okay,
And then
so
I believe
here,
it's
I actually
then
have a
it's
question.
Texas and then Georgia.
See, now, Texas has two National Guards, right? They have the National Guard, and then they have the Texas National Guard. So is that counting both? or
Ohio
is
has
that
its
counting one?
own. Ohio has its own branch of Army Rangers and shit like that. We host Special Forces teams.
That's phenomenal. I didn't know Ohio rolls like that, and I'm from.
We also
there,
have
so-
a small. We also have a small Air Force, pretty much.
Yeah, what's good, Victor Charlie? Ohio don't play no games, dude. You mad about it?
I'm trying to be respectful to the state of Ohio, but I mean, Yeah, is that like the
Ohio. The
mechanized
reason why
crackhead
Ohio
patrol?
is mentioned in so many things is because we are a significant state, but it's just sketchy here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know. When anytime everybody talks to me about Ohio, I'm like, oh, do you think I'd like Ohio? It's like, well, do you like corn? Yeah. Do you like meth? No. Okay, you're probably not gonna like Ohio.
It's
That's
like the
only in
kids are
some
saying. Yeah.
places.
Wait,
75.
can you do both at the same time? Can you do corn and meth,
I
or
don't
is
I
it?
know.
mean, you could
Are they
probably
mutually
mix them. I
exclusive?
mean, shit. Instead of butter, just rub meth on your corn.
What about buttered meth?
No,
Fucking hell.
you're cutting out corn completely. Then you can't have that.
Well, yeah. I mean, no wonder Ohio has so much militarization.
All right.
Yeah, I thought it was funny too because I looked it up thinking it would be like California, Texas, all the larger states, but nope, Ohio is got one of the largest National Guards.
That's wild to me. That still baffles me, and I'm from there, and I didn't know that. Anyway, so California is home. to
All I know is if we ever break out into a civil war, Ohio's good.
Yeah, well, I bet you don't have as many forest fires, so
Yeah, facts.
No,
You're
no.
not even irrelevant now because you don't have forest fires.
We get tornadoes. That's
Yeah.
about it.
yeah, but no, that's not all the rage these days. You watch the news, it's all about fires.
Yeah,
Fire,
dude.
fire, fire, fire.
I don't know. Tsunamis are pretty big.
Yeah, but that's old news. We want to see people fleeing from their burned down houses.
That's fake
Oh,
news.
most of them don't own the houses. The rich people do.
Well, yeah, BlackRock has all of them. Absolutely.
BlackRock. We might have to cover a topic on that.
Yeah, we should talk about them sometime too.
After this article, we're gonna have some time. After this article, we'll run
The
this.
people that run the world.
BlackRock. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop. We're gonna cover this article first.
Brandenburg v. Ohio. Yep.
Brandenburg v. Ohio. California is home to the most Fortune 500 companies, beating out Texas, Florida.
Forest Fire Company.
Forest Fire Companies. Fortune 500 companies beating out Texas, Florida, and all other states. California remains number one in the nation for new business starts. Number one for access to venture capital funding. I don't know what that is. But
Basically, startup money.
oh, startup money. Okay. Number one for manufacturing, and number one for high tech, and number one for agriculture. California stands at the center of manufacturing output in the United States, with over 36,000 manufacturing firms and employing over 1.1 million Californians since California supplemented New York in 1965. Our manufacturing firms have created new industries and supplied the world with manufacturing goods spanning aerospace, computers, electronics, and most recently, zero-emission vehicles. California is home to 32 of the world's 50 leading AI companies, high-impact research and education institutions, and a quarter of the technology's patents and conference papers. California's population has increased multiple years. That's fucking weird. In a row, and has one of the most executable tax systems in the entire country. Traveling spending reached an all-time high of 150.4 billion. I don't know, man. California probably's got. I don't know. They're probably doing something good here. I think they're actually jumping forward a little bit and being like, "Hey, this is the right move."
Yeah, you definitely. I need to see a lot more states doing this to hopefully be like, hey, we're not all fuckwits. So whenever we get rid of fucking the fat orange man, we can try to build our relationship back.
You'll never get rid of me because I'm going to have a new law where I get a third term because I didn't get consecutive terms. So, you guys see that?
Yeah, we can probably find an article on that too. We're going rogue, dude. Payson, I hope your Google search is ready to roll. we're going rogue. I don't know.
You're never gonna get rid of me. There'll be more of me for a long time.
I'm good on the California. I think they're doing something really good here. So I don't know. That's my personal.
Except for the fires, they need to get those under control.
Yes,
Yeah.
the fires need to be squashed, but you know.
Nice to meet
And,
you.
and maybe
this-
I'm
some of the other
Weaver.
social problems, but yeah.
All right, so this is the one of the articles that I really wanted to talk about. TikTok ban deadline, which is tonight. It's Saturday. So this is another thing that also helped. I want to say help Trump get elected. But this was Trump's big thing too, right? We are stopping the fucking the infringement on the First Amendment, and here we are again talking about the TikTok ban. And I have a very not so radical viewpoint on this. This is the government. This is the government doing right here. They're going to shut this shit down, and the reason why, right? And here's a big reason why, which also kind of stems back to last episode, so we're going to cover a little bit here.
China's using it to track your shit, Doug.
Well, okay, so we can cover that real quick. So the first reason why this was brought up, right, was the TikTok ban the first time, was because national security, right? But you don't really have a fucking foot to stand on when Pete Hegseth is out here releasing fucking military documents on fucking Signal and inviting a reporter in on that fucking Signal fucking group chat. So, like, there's one point, go fuck yourself. That's a bullshit point. Two.
And the fact that the guy's not even from China who came up with TikTok. He's from fucking Singapore.
He is Singaporean.
We should talk about all the surveillance programs we're already running internally, like the Patriot Act, Stellar Wind, Prism, X-Key Score, Boundless Informant, Hemisphere Project, the National Security Letters, CoIntel Pro, Next Gen Surveillance, AI and Facial Recognition, and so on and so forth. So who gives a shit if China is doing that when we're already doing it to ourselves?
That's also a
They're
fact.
probably getting that information from ours.
If you want to learn about those, and I strongly recommend going and looking up the Patriot Act, especially since we're not dealing with acts of terrorism now, right? We're not fighting the war on terrorism anymore. Strongly go look at the Patriot Act because that is the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard. Anyway, I have a tinfoil hat moment right here, right? The reason why TikTok is getting banned, okay? So I follow a lot of political shit on TikTok just like I do in my normal life every day. I read something political. So naturally, my TikTok algorithm is going to be political, right? The amount of protests and everything like that, right? So I seen a few months back, people start talking about a big protest, and they want it to happen April 4th, or April 5th, sorry. And that is today. I have seen so fucking much. There's thousands upon thousands of people across the United States, nationwide, right now, protesting and just fucking, they're not raising hell. It's a peaceful protest, so I can't be like, oh, out there raising hell. No, they're not raising hell. They're literally out there protesting, using their freedom of speech, but the mass amount of people that have joined in on this just because of TikTok alone, the amount of outreach, this is the government, and they are reaching out to shut that down because they do not want us talking to each other. They do not want us to side with each other. They want us divided. They want us to not like our neighbors, which we protest against that here on the Beardarchy Project all the fucking time. But this is how they keep us divided. They get rid of TikTok. You know, you're not going to see what you see. I don't know if everybody's algorithm's like this or if it's just mine. I see these protests across the nation. Fucking Germany's protesting right now against the Orange Man. Fucking Ohio. It was in Cincinnati, Ohio, Salt Lake City, California, LA. All these, there's thousands
the
of
one in
more.
France.
There's one in France. I didn't even know about the one in France. So
There's
like, good.
the feminist movement in France.
This is a way for the government to shut you up and make you sit down. You do not want that. You have a voice, stand up and fucking use it. Brandenburg v. Ohio. But in saying that, this is a way for the government to shut it all down. They do not want you talking to each other. They want you to stay in your own little bubble. They do not want you to fucking see that China's not so fucking bad and there's actual not fucking, they're over there. They have more property rights than us. And you're like, I didn't know that until like I downloaded fucking Red Note because TikTok got banned that day. It's wild. It is wild the amount of propaganda that we are releasing on other nations when they are literally just trying to survive like the rest of us. The working class is worldwide. It's not It's not just here. This is a movement by the elites to shut it all down and get you back in your fucking bubble so you don't raise a commotion. That is the whole fucking thing. I don't know. That's
Well,
my
I do think there's a
tinfoil
nuanced
hat
conversation to have there, though,
that's my
with-
tinfoil hat take. Just so we're clear. But
with social media. You know, I do think there's that is government overreach, especially against a private company. Just like how they were trying to regulate the things that are said on private platforms, I also think is government overreach. So it's interesting, though. I think there's an interesting conversation to have there.
by all means,
Yeah.
for sure. There was they have documented proof now that Facebook reached out to, or not Facebook, but the FBI reached out to Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, and was having him shut down like all the fucking COVID talk during COVID. This is what I'm talking about. This is government overreach at its finest. This is your First Amendment doesn't mean shit, and it's bad. This is bad. I can't say this is big bad. Like, this is fucking big bad. But
That's only if we treat these private spaces as public spaces, which is why it's an interesting conversation. We haven't exactly set precedent for if social media is a public place where people gather. Obviously, we treat it like that, right? And I'm with you. It's an interesting conversation because it could potentially open the door for government regulation on private business.
which is bullshit as well, in my opinion. So
what do we do? I mean, that's the hard question. What do you do about it?
what do? You continue to talk to your fucking neighbors. You continue to talk to everybody. You got to get out there and talk to people. You got to realize that we're all in the same fucking boat here. We're all fucking struggling, and the only way to get better is if we come together. And that, I understand that it sounds extremely hippie. So like, you know, the fucking boomers are probably gonna have a problem with that. But like, fuck you, okay? Like, this is the real fucking deal. Like, you guys need to fucking talk to everybody.
Brandenburg v. Ohio.
Brandenburg v. Ohio, 1969. It's fucking important, but at the same time, you got to talk to your neighbors. You got to get out. You got to fucking, you know, you have a voice. Use your voice.
That's the irony, though, is the boomers were the original hippies.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I tried to explain to people is if you look at every generation before ours, they disappointed their parents.
That's facts.
Everyone, it gets weirder and weirder every generation. It's just how it goes. We did shit. Our parents were like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?"
But I don't know. That's the main thing that I wanted to talk about here. My tinfoil hat theory. This is literally just the government is trying to get you to sit down and shut up, and don't do that. Brandenburg v. Ohio.
Yeah, Brandenburg v. Ohio.
So the extensions on the TikTok ban expires April 5th, at which time it is set to shut down unless it's Chinese-owned partner, which there's no fucking Chinese-owned partner. Dude's Singaporean. Chinese-owned partner.
China.
I'm about to make you read this.
China. I don't know if I can now.
Chinese-owned partner company BitDance strikes a deal. News officials report that the President Donald Trump and his administration are considering signing an executive order Friday to extend the deadline to sell or face the ban in the U.S. as the last-minute investors such as Amazon and AppLovin, I don't know what they are, but are submitted biddings. They're trying to bid for this. So, TikTok went dark in the United States on January 18th after the Supreme Court upheld the law to ban the app unless its Chinese partner company BitDance sold its U.S. operations. However, the blackout was short-lived. So, yep. What do you think of that?
I think that outright bans on anything never works. Prohibition didn't work. People will just find another way to do it. It's unfortunate that, you know, potentially the government will do this. It's bullshit, but apparently we haven't learned anything from history. Outright banning stuff will just leave a hole in the market for someone else to come in and create something else. So I don't know what they think they're stopping. They're not stopping jack shit.
I haven't said it. Open a fucking history book if you don't know about the bans on alcohol, prohibition shit. Outright banning something will never happen. You're going to have fucking moonshiners, which I don't know what you're going to have with TikTok. Somebody else is just going to start up another business. Maybe the Beardarchy.
I mean, it's just like
Can the Beardarchy
Vine,
fucking
TikTok.
start a fucking...
Red Note.
No. Don't by all means, I don't care if you hand off your information to the Chinese. Fucking whatever, they already have it. But maybe the Beardarchy will start their own, their own free speech.
I absolutely despise social networks.
Social networks is how people communicate, and I, as a
Get
caveman,
a fucking phone number and talk to people.
it's hard to talk.
I do. So hot take. I do kind of agree with that as well. I think that there has been a lot of damage from it. I also agree though that they are how people communicate and that they are important for communication. But I do think there has been a lot of negative outcomes stemming from social media.
On the other hand, I don't think that. But what I do think is that there's an entire generation per se.
Of people who can barely talk to other human beings without a phone.
Okay, so not to disprove your point here. So that entire generation made a fucking TikTok, and that has spread across the United States. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and just go past that and say across the fucking world, and got a huge ass protest to start all in one day. And that would be today. And when I say across the world, from France to Belgium to fucking California to fucking New York to wherever you want to go, and everywhere in between, there are people out protesting today because of this app. They're using their voice, and I will never put that down. That's my hot take.
No, I'm not saying that.
No,
I
right,
think
you're
it's
not
great
saying,
still.
you know, but I don't
I'm
have a
just
problem
saying
with
that
social networks, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that good things have come out of it. I just don't necessarily know if it's a net positive gain. It's not dismissing that there are good things that happened. I do agree with that.
Right.
I definitely think communication is good. I just don't think that social media as a whole has helped the world all that much.
Yeah, we were actually talking about this pre-podcast. I do think that, especially with the way algorithms behave, people tend to get stuck in their own echo chamber of belief systems, and they're not ever forced to challenge their own ideals with social media.
Social media gives people pretty much a brainwashing effect sometimes. Like, people will see a video and go, this is it, this is the truth, without doing any sort of research.
I'm gonna hold to my guns here on this. I think that this is good, and they agree.
But do you think it's good when it's opposing to you?
Yes.
If you see a video that's 100% opposing your beliefs and it's just absolute buffoonery, it's cool.
I believe that people should be able to use their First Amendment freely, if that's what.
Oh yeah,
saying.
same. But
So,
if you're being a fucking moron, I'm gonna fucking bitch about it.
well, that's fine. You bitch about people being morons. I don't care. Trump's a moron all the time, and you bitch about it constantly, and I'm okay with
pretty
that.
much.
So.
And JD Vance's fucking nutsack looking head.
That's an odd take. That was an odd take. That was a first for me, and good deal. Anyway, so yes, TikTok is supposed to be shut down tonight, and maybe we should talk about starting up our own.
The only reason I have Facebook is so my family knows I'm not dead. If I didn't need that to be a thing, I wouldn't have it.
Well, that's fine. You don't
Pretty
have
sweet
to
for
be
marketplace
on it.
I had TikTok once, and I thought it was a brain dead nonsense thing 90% of the time. Which is another thing I have an issue with, is there's so many people that will sit on TikTok for 6 hours a fucking day instead of like.
Are you telling people how to live their life? Are you mad about people how?
No, you can do that. I'm just saying it's not great for you.
Sounds like you have a problem with the way people are living their lives.
No, everyone's allowed to live their life how they want. But if it's fucking stupid and rotting your brain, I can tell you. Considering there's a whole ass brain rot, like fucking.
They coined a term for it.
Yeah, brain rot.
That's fine, but you can use those algorithms and these social networks as something good, and that's what I'm saying. If you change your algorithm,
or you can use it to brainwash generation.
That was a very tinfoil hatty thing to say.
I'm kind of in agreement with that.
I mean, that's fine.
Doug,
everybody.
How do you think that? I mean, this is completely off topic, but how do you think Hitler got into power?
Right, I understand.
By using propaganda.
But what I'm saying is that if that's what your algorithm is, you know, it is what it is. All I'm saying is
the government gives you not a choice for that to be your algorithm.
Right, and that would be going against the First Amendment, which is wrong, which means people should use their voice to change that. That's literally the whole point of this fucking conversation. Anyway, the point
And
of
then
it,
there's the next guy and the next guy.
the point of it is that you're never going to get away from it, and use it for something good, is what I'm getting at there. So, either way,
I'm gonna be a hermit.
that's fine. If you want to be a hermit, be a hermit. All I'm saying is that
You're telling me I'm not gonna get away from it. I'm gonna get away from it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think social media has done a lot of harm. It's definitely helped in some areas, but it's also made a lot of people unintelligent because, like I said, they look at something and go, "This is all there is."
so. Hot take: Devin is not about the future. No, it's all good. I'm just saying that I think this is good.
Well, I think our problem
But I
is
think
where we've come. We're
the
supposed to be
ban-
tribalistic creatures.
I think the ban is terrible, and I feel that this is a good way for people to use an app to get further ahead and communicate with people all around the world and potentially get a huge ass fucking movement started like today. That was what my whole point is there. But yeah, so this is my hot take on that. This is the article that I really wanted to talk about because I think it's wild, and the party that claimed so much that they're going to save the First Amendment is clearly not, and it shows.
Yeah.
We good? Move to the next article. RFK says states can and should block soda from food stamp benefits. So we have another topic here that's some mild disagreements in, but the briefing of it, we're just going to go through the briefing of it, then we'll have our discussion. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the nation's health secretary with brainworms, is encouraging states to apply for waivers that will allow them to ban people from buying sodas using food stamp benefits. Kennedy has also been the most vocal about the issue, but he's not alone in his push to ban certain foods from being banned under the SNAP programs. Bills are pending in Congress and in several states to restrict SNAP benefits from paying for soda, candy, and other items. So that is the briefing. Start out with my hot take, I guess, since everybody went ghost on me. So I don't agree with this in any way, shape, or form. I know there's some people out there that probably do, but I'm not worried about this in any way, shape, or form. These people need help. That's why they're on these programs. And if I'm not saying that there's not people out there that are abusing the system or playing the system, I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form. But the people that do need this, saying what they can and can't buy is government overreach on top of government overreach, and that's exactly what this is. This program is government overreach, and I understand it helps people, and I'm all for helping people. I'm all for helping your community. But in the same sense, I'm not going to restrict what they can and can't buy. If they want to be unhealthy and drink soda, that's on them. If they want to drink water and vegetables and whatever, that's on them. But I'm a firm believer that the government should not be able to step in and say, you can't buy a fucking Mountain Dew because fuck you. You're on, yeah, I just don't agree with that. I'm not worried about the guy down the road that's buying a soda for his kid and a candy bar for his kid because they have a little extra over in their SNAP benefits or whatever the fuck you want to call it. My main concern is the fact that if you're worried about this and what your neighbor's doing, I don't know. I kind of firmly believe that maybe shit. I'm trying to think about how to word this here. I'm going to change it. So, out of everything that goes on here, my big problem is that the government is telling people what to fucking do, and that is I'm not a fan of that. I've never been a fan of that. I mean, clearly, yeah, fuck you. If I want to drink a fucking Mountain Dew over some water, fuck you. You know what I mean? At the same time, you know what I mean? Yeah. Go for it.
I got a question. Are vaccines as a requirement for public school for the benefit of the public health? Or is a mandate requiring those vaccines? Is that government overreach?
No, not exactly. That's more about public health and safety, I guess. Which is exactly what you wanted me to say, and I know that. It's a bit different.
I do like debate. I do like debate.
I know.
But I guess, and that's kind of my thing. No, we shouldn't spend a bunch of time necessarily worrying about what people do. But I think that, you could spin this in a way where it is about public health, right?
Sure.
Just like
Yeah, which
with
is
vaccines.
Sure. I can. Like I said, the vaccines are in a completely different category though, as a Mountain Dew. If you're
Well, what are the leading causes of death in the United States?
diabetes.
Exactly.
so, then why are we not banning it for all public? Because since vaccines are mandated, right? Why don't we just ban it for everybody?
Because this is paid with public money.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what my issue with people is. This is money you haven't worked for. You're just getting handed it to you. So there are already restrictions on snap cards and all the EBT shit. There are things you cannot purchase with it. Like, it has to be a food item, right?
which it is a food item.
Not really, because it offers no nutritional value.
Your body needs sugar.
Yeah, you can get that from proteins and shit you're actually supposed to be eating.
So this is where the conversation comes in that we mild disagreements. I don't know. At the end of the day, my whole... Go for it.
I don't know. I
want
feel like my parents
people-
are getting divorced again.
I want people to not starve, have a place to live, and all that, absolutely. But when it comes to a program that shouldn't exist in the first place, you should just take care of your own people if they need it. Because the big issue with this system is that people can abuse it. If we got rid of it and just said, hey, take care of the people in your community that need help, then you take care of the people that actually need help. Not the people that are using you.
I do think we all agree on that, right? We're all
Yeah.
about communities helping communities, right?
Yes.
I think the three of us are in agreement about that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But my big difference is I don't want to support people that are not supporting everyone else.
And where my take is
Contributing to society.
so this whole thing right here, the SNAP benefits or EBT or whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? This is a program, in my opinion.
A government program that takes taxpayer dollars that we don't need.
Right. But I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on here, right? So the elites put this in to divide us just a little bit more, right? We're now pitting the working class against the lower class because of that exact fucking that statement right there, right? They're getting more than us because they're taking from us, right? Which is complete bullshit. Whatever. In saying that, if you look at the elites right now, and we can just look at the people that are in Trump's cabinet, for example, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, they have trillions of dollars, and I don't know the exact number of people in the world, but let's just round that to fucking 8 billion. And so you could literally have Elon Musk hand everybody a $1 billion check, well, $1 billion, and that motherfucker will still have money left over, more money than he'll know what to do with, no more money than his kids are going to know what to do with. But in saying that, this whole thing, we are worried about what the guy down the street that might be playing the system a little bit, or the family that needs it. We're telling them they can't have a fucking Mountain Dew or some candy for their kid, or a birthday cake even, maybe, depending on, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, but why don't they have to do what we have to do and do something for it?
right? And
I believe in a barter system, so
sure, yeah, I also believe in the free market, but at the same time, you have these people that are in the elite powering right now that they have more money than they'll ever know what to fucking do with in their entire life.
and they don't do shit either. They're no better than the people using the system because they're also using the system.
Correct. But in saying that, we are more mad about or we are more focused. We're not mad. We're more focused.
Well, I mean,
on, we are more focused on somebody buying a Mountain Dew that might be playing the system, or somebody that actually needs it, or needs EBT or Snap. We are more
Check out
focused
the
on
Pando Pet
a
Cafe
guy
to play
that's
with me.
buying a Mountain Dew that's in that category than the ones that are way up above playing the system even worse and fucking you even harder. And that's my problem with the
no,
slot
I'm
system.
I'm mad about them too, but I'm also about fair treatment, and I don't believe the system should be in place
And that's
at
like I
all.
said, the system is there because of the elites. So, but RFK also don't believe in healthcare as a fucking human right. So, my opinion on him is very, very little. But
I agree with very little on the shit he does. The only things I've agreed with so far are, well, I
Dyes,
shouldn't say,
dyes and food.
dyes. He has a stance against GMOs, which I am about.
I'm all
And
for
that's
making
about it.
food healthier. Like, by all means, like that, I'm good with that. But like this fucking bill is stupid as fuck. Why? So we haven't even moved forward on making food healthier, but we're still worried about the guy down the street drinking a Mountain Dew that still has Red 40 in it. You know what I mean? And that's a huge problem as well. So like,
He actually is the Red 40 and Red dyes are on their way out.
I'm not gonna praise him until they're out. So that's a big
Yeah,
thing.
I think they have a few years to transition,
Yeah.
something like that.
So
But yeah,
I'm not going to praise somebody that someone should have did a long time ago, and so that's my whole thing.
Well, I don't know if you've seen our last health advisor, but she wasn't exactly the picture of health.
Well, neither's Brainworm Man. So
Have you seen that motherfucker? He is
yeah, he's
jet-
pretty ripped actually, and not to talk him up, but he's pretty.
he is
pretty good.
definitely healthy of body.
Yes. That's what you get when you get the worm.
yeah,
You trade sanity for fitness.
but
Yeah, he's definitely physically. He knows what he's talking about. He's just a fucking nut job.
so that's my hot take. But as of
And I definitely think we have a fitness problem in the United States.
we're gonna bypass that. The Beardarchy Project tradition, our last article, we got egg prices.
Eggs.
So this is at the Pocatello Walmart here in Idaho. Look at that 60 rack, $24.12. What's it at in Ohio?
It's cheaper there than it is. It's 38. Last time I was there, it's 38, but that was at Kroger.
So
And I don't count a like great value brand. I look at like normal people shit. Because I'm bougie about my eggs.
I'm pretty sure that's the same price as last week too.
I think so, yeah.
And you're probably still seeing the effects of that artificial.
The
The
artificial
thing we talked about
deflation.
last week.
Artificial,
Yeah.
the artificial deflation. So yeah, we're
They'll
most
probably
likely
start going up once we run out of those.
most likely they are going to reclimb.
I think they were only using those for cooked food products. I
Yes.
don't think they weren't selling them whole.
yeah.
yeah.
So it saves us to buy the eggs whole. But artificial inflation or artificial deflation, sorry. But 60 racks are $24.12, and that makes me
Well, it's
also
both,
happy,
isn't it? We're incurring both artificial inflation and deflation simultaneously.
Which is wild if you honestly think about
Yeah.
it. But hell yeah. So that was today's episode, boys.
Woo! End it with the egg prices.
We always got to end it with the egg prices, dude. We're actually an egg podcast.
That's what I like to hear. It's
We are
all about
still
the
working
eggs.
on shirts and other merchandise. If there's any merchandise anybody wants to see, let me know. See what I can fucking cook up and start working on.
You have to crack a few eggs.
Crack a few eggs. All right. Anything else? Anything to add, boys?
Brandenburg, v. Ohio.
Brandenburg v. Ohio. That's super important. And Devin, close us out.